Hey guys, Baron here, back with another video. Now last week, we covered the top 5 rock types, so this week, we're going to move on to cover the top 5 fairy types. And as usual, as you know, I will not be using any legendaries for this list, because I plan on saving those for a top 10 legendaries at the end of the series. But if your guys' lists include the use of legendaries, then by all means go right ahead and use them. And of course, as you know, this is 100% my opinion. If your opinions differ, then please do leave in the comment section below. I would love to hear your thoughts. But with that being said, drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and let's get into it. Starting off at the number 5 spot, we have a mon that I think a lot of people will have on the top 5 fairy types, and that is Gardevoir. I mean, if you ever used Gardevoir in Let's Play, in a playthrough in general, or in a competitive setting, then you know that this thing is extremely powerful and extremely useful, not only as a mega evolution of course, but as a regular form in itself. Personally, I really enjoy using Life Orb on this thing, rocking for example Moonblast and Psychic, and it just has a really good typing combination with Psychic and Fairy type. It really is a good coverage for a lot of things, and it really is a diverse mon. It was good before it got the Fairy type, but it got better when it got the Fairy type, so that really proves that a lot of mons improved when they got this additional typing, and you will see that later on in this list. But just in general, Gardevoir is a really cool mon. A lot of people think it's too feminine. I don't really agree with that. I think it's actually, if you look into it, it's sort of like a warrior knight sort of character, but I sort of see the point of Gallade too, and I wouldn't want to replace Gallade with anything else. So I really like that they introduced Gallade in Generation 4. But we're getting off topic here. Gardevoir is a really cool mon, and she or he deserves to be here at the number 5 spot. Now, introducing the number 4 spot, we have Sylvanon. Now, Sylvanon is definitely the OG fairy types of the fairy types that exists. Of course, it was one of the first fairy types that was introduced, and even was leaked before the games came out in Generation 6 with X and Y. And just seeing this thing in, I don't know the name of the city, but the 6th gym in the Kalos region, and facing this thing with Valerie, and just seeing how powerful it is. And if you ever run it competitively, you know this thing is just not to be messed with. And with Pixelate and Hyper Voice, that is a deadly combination, and it's definitely not something to be slept on. But I definitely enjoy Sylvanon because it's like Umbreon in a lot of senses. It introduced the fairy type, just like the Umbreon did with the dark type. And evolutions really have a good way of doing that, and I definitely think that they made a good decision introducing Sylvanon, because as we all know now, it's a really big fan favorite, and it's not hard to understand why, because it's really cool, it's kind of cute, and it's also really badass in a way. So yeah, Sylvanon is number 4 on our top 5 fairy type. Now, coming in at the middle point and introducing the number 3 spot on this list is Primarina. Now, I didn't realize, or I didn't think that fairy types was that involved with the other typings before Generation 7 came out. I always viewed it as sort of separate, like a special typing. But I think the Game Freak made a really good decision introducing a fairy type starter in Generation 7, because it really incorporated the fairy types into the general meta of the game. That's sort of hard to explain, but that's how I feel about it. And Primarina was a good mon to do that with. If I want to complain, I would say that it's a bit too feminine of a Pokemon, and it sort of feels weird having a gender ratio with 75% I think of Primarinas being male. But that's another topic entirely. Just as a mon in itself, it's really cool, and it's a really useful mon too. I mean, it's sort of what Milotic would be if it was a fairy type. So it's very much a dragon killer, and it's very much a bulky dragon killer, which is really useful. And in my opinion, which I think a lot of people will agree with, Primarina is the best competitive starter of Generation 7. And really, based on that, it's introduced the fairy type in a new way. It deserves to be at the number 3 spot here this week. Now, coming in at the number 2 spot is actually another Generation 7 mon, and that is Mimikyu. Now, talking about fan favorites here, this really is a fan favorite, and it's really not hard to understand why. It has that mysterious aura about it, being that it is always under a cover, so you never really know what it is. And added to that, it's also a really, really cute mon. It's also a powerful mon, which you wouldn't expect coming from such a small package, but it really, really is a good mon. And with Ghost and Fairy type too, that's really a cool combination with its ability being disguised, meaning that you get another additional turn where your opponent can't harm you, meaning that you can set up with this Mimikyu, meaning that you can, for example, rock Stealth Rocks with this thing. Being able to initially basically win the first round, that's kind of a cool concept. It's really a cool ability. It's really unique. And, you know, with the whole backstory of it being sort of rejected in the Pokemon world and everyone being too scared of it, so it took on the Pikachu cloak to sort of be more loved. I mean, you gotta love that. You gotta like think, oh, poor little Mimikyu, and just let me take you in and give you a hug. And I mean, that's a good reason to take this thing on your team. I did it the first time I played through Generation 7, and I definitely don't regret it because it's a really, really good mon. So yeah, Mimikyu deserves to be at the number 2 spot here this week. Now, if fairy types are anything, it's pink, cuddly, and cute. And the number 1 spot personifies that perfectly, and that is Clefable, or Clefable, or Trisha, as I would like to call her a lot of times. Clefable, or Clefable, it's a really, really cool mon, and it's such a bulky mon. It's so bulky, and you know, being able to stall out your opponents, rocking Moonblast, rocking Psychic, rocking Soft Boiled, Moonlight, you can rock Stealth Rock on this thing, you can, for example, rock Fire Blast, you can rock it offensively, you can rock it defensively. It's a really cool and varied mon, and coming from Generation 1 all the way through Generation 5, this thing as a normal type wasn't that good. It was decent, but it was not that great. But it definitely changed when it got the fairy typing, because this thing is so bulky and it's almost not challenged by a lot of things, honestly. And it's really, really good competitively, and that's why I bonded with it, because I've used this thing competitively. I've used this thing in both seasons of PSL, and I gotta tell you, it's one of my favorite competitive mons ever. And really, it's a mon I've grown to love ever since it got the fairy typing. And like I mentioned with Gardevoir, it will recur later on in the list. A lot of mons got better being introduced as fairy types. I mean, for example, with Gardevoir gaining the fairy type, or with Clefable going from normal type to an entirely different typing with fairy type. It really improved both of those mons, and that just showed that fairy types, introducing a new typing into the meta, can really improve a lot of things. A lot of things for a lot of mons, a lot of things competitively, and, you know, not only being Dragon Slayers, but a lot of mons got improved because of the fairy typing. And, you know, that's a great thing for typing to do. So yeah, Clefable is the number 1 spot here on the top 5 fairy types. I just love it. I just do. So guys, that is going to do it for our top 5 fairy types. I really hope that you enjoyed, and if you did, make sure to hit that like button. Your support goes a long way. And of course, stick around for next week, as we're going to cover top 5 ground types, so that's going to be exciting. But for now, I'm going to get the hashtag out of here. Thank you guys for checking out the video before, until, and after seeing you next time though. Stay awesome.